Hello everyone. Welcome to Sankalp Learning Classes. Let's study about the polygenic inheritance. Yes, what's the meaning of polygenic inheritance? The traits which are generally controlled by three or more genes and are thus called as polygenic inheritance or quantitative inheritance. So just imagine there is a trait, for example, the hair color. Okay, hair color. So there is a single character, so that are controlled by more than, this is the hair color is the single character that is controlled by more than three gene. So three or more gene, that is called as polygenic. Poly means many, right? So that is called as polygenic inheritance. So here the genes involved in polygenic inheritance are termed as polygenes. So what they are called? Poly means many. So here many genes are controlling the single character. So that is the simple meaning of this polygenic inheritance. So the skin color, so just the skin color is the example for this polygenic inheritance. And one more very important example, that is height of the humans, right? So the height of the humans, so some are tall and some are uh, dwarf and some are having the medium height. So there are different type of heights in human beings. So that is the single character, the height of the human being, that is the single character, but it is controlled by more than two genes, that is termed as polygenic inheritance. So here the skin color in human beings, a very good example for the polygenic inheritance. The presence of the melanin pigment in the skin determines the skin color. So you know that the melanin pigment that determine the skin color, the amount of melanin developing in the individual is determined by the three or two pairs of genes. The melanin, the presence of the melanin, that is determined by the three or two pairs of genes. These genes are present at three different loci of the each gene. So that is responsible for the synthesis of the fixed amount of the melanin. Okay, so just imagine the skin color, the skin color of the human beings. Some are having the dark skin color and some are having the light skin color and some are having the some other different in between, not dark, not too light skin color. So there are different types of the skin color, not only dark and the light skin color. So just assume that, just you assume that the melanin that is responsible for the amount of melanin synthesis that is responsible for the skin color. So here just imagine that the A, B, C gene. So these are the three genes. So which are controlling the skin color. Okay. So which are controlling the skin color. So these are in diploid condition. So here A will be there, or sorry, A, B, B, C, C. Okay. So capital C, capital C. So these are dominant genes, and recessive small a, small a, small b, small b, small c is the recessive condition. So this capital A, capital B, capital C, that is the dominant one. Small a, small b, small c are the recessive over this. Okay. So the person, just this is the assumption. Okay. So the person who is having capital A, both capital B and the capital C gene, so have the darkest skin color. Okay, capital A, capital B, capital C having the darkest skin color because it produces the more melanin, the individual developing the more melanin in their body. So the person will have the dark skin color. And the small a, small b, small c. So small a, b, b, c, c have the lightest skin color. So there are some other different skin colors, not dark and not light, right? Some other combination we will get. For example, see, capital A, small a, capital B, B, capital C. So we'll get some other different skin color, and small a's, capital B, capital C. So there are different types of the combination of these genes produces the different types of the skin color. So here the amount of melanin produced is always proportional to the number of dominant genes. So dominant gene is more, it means the melanin production is more. Okay, so the recessive genes which produces the lighter skin color. So this is the very good example for the polygenic inheritance. So here the skin color that is controlled by more than 3 genes. Just assume that AA, BB is and the CC in the diploid organism. So this is very good example for the polygenic inheritance. And one more terminology, that is pleiotropy. So what is this pleiotropy? Let's study the definition of the pleiotropy. A single gene can exhibit multiple phenotypic expression. Such gene is called as the pleiotropic gene. So what is this pleiotropic gene? So there is a single gene that exhibit multiple expression. So that can cause the multiple phenotypic expression. For example, just A, B. Okay, so that is a single gene. So that can express multiple phenotypic expression. So the single gene can exhibit multiple phenotypic expression, that is called as pleiotropy. So here one very good example for pleiotropy is phenylketonuria. So that disease in human is example for the pleiotropy. What is this phenylketonuria? This disease is caused due to the mutation in the gene that code for the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase. Okay, so this is the disease. Phenylketonuria is the disease. So this disease is caused by the mutation in the gene that codes for phenylalanine hydroxylase, that enzyme. So just imagine there is a gene, so there is a change in there is a mutation or the change in the gene. Okay, so this single change in the gene that is responsible for the multiple phenotypic expression. So that is mental retardation, reduction in hairs, and the reduction in the skin pigmentation. So these are the some different phenotypic expression that is caused by the single gene. So there is a change in the single gene, right? So that is responsible for the multiple characteristics. So that is a very good example for the pleiotropy. So phenylalanine. So this is the very good example for the pleiotropy. So the enzyme phenylalanine hydroxylase, so that do not produce due to the mutation in the gene, so that causes the multiple expressions. Okay,